The stream went down for a second, so I'm just going to go back. I don't know what line we stopped at, so I'm just going back a few lines just to be safe. When you saw that, Takayama dispassionately pulled the trigger on his automatic pistol. The bullets completely destroyed the robot, leaving it unable to move. Sure are a cautious one. The versions I saw were still capable of self-destructing even in that condition. Takayama said that as he sat down at the desk in the room. He didn't pull a cigarette. He then pulled a cigarette and lighter out of his pocket and lit the cigarette up.
恐ろしいね。今の戦場ってどうなってるんだ?
Scary. What's up with this battlefield?
どうもしない。いつの時代も同じことさ。金のある方が強い。
Nothing special. It's the same no matter the era. Those with money are stronger. Takayama smoked a cigarette with a bored expression.
ってことは貧乏人の俺は手も足も出ずってか?
Which means a poor guy like myself, completely helpless, huh? Just like Takayama, Tezuka sat down a piece of furniture in the room, pulled out a cigarette box from his pocket. But he looked inside to find out he was out of cigarettes already. Damn it. Tezuka crushed the empty box and threw it away. I hate when they run out. The box flew over to the ruin of the wreckage of the robot.
Oi.
Hey. Takayama called out to Tezuka and tossed him a cigarette.
Oh, arigato, Takayama no san.
Thanks, Takayama. Wait, hold on a second. Sorry. Takayama tossed him his cigarette box. Sorry. Tezuka caught it without difficulty, and pulled out a cigarette from inside and put it in his mouth. He then lit it up with his lighter and scrunched his face. Ow. Tezuka's right arm was wounded. He got on it when he avoided a trap. Treat you. Worried about me? Yes. It'd be a pain if you became a burden. Sure got your head on straight, but it ain't no problem. This doesn't even count as a wound. People say that I eventually develop fevers and stop moving. I'll ban you if you can't move anymore. Do you really want that? Takayama said that without changing his expression at all. But Tezuka swallowed the smoke from his cigarette in a weird way and started coughing.
What the? あんたにはもうちょっと可愛げが欲しいぜ。
sec. Alright, back. Alright, I got it. Would it kill you to learn a little more charm?
俺に可愛げがあったらとっくにお前に殺されている。
If I did, I would have killed you long ago.
可愛くねえの。
Well, you sure are Prince Charmless here. Tezuka gleefully smoked his cigarette. He didn't cough this time. He truly was enjoying the situation, it seemed.
でもまあこれで新しい武器がもらえるってわけか。いろいろ選択肢が出てきたな、おっさん。
But now this means we can get our hands on some weapons. We got a whole lot of doors open to us now, old man.
ああ
Yeah.
どうした？浮かない顔して。
What's wrong? You don't look happy.
お前も気づいているんだろう。
Haven't you realized it as well?
まあな。
More or less. Tezuka smoked as he blew out a puff of smoke.
エクストラゲームが始まったのは俺たちが武器が欲しいと考え始めた途端だ。タイミングが良すぎる。そのことだろ。
The extra game started the moment we thought, we wanted weapons. The timing's just too convenient. That's what you're talking about, yeah?
ああ
Yeah.
だがな、俺は今のところは気にすることはねえと思うぜ。
I don't think it really matters at this point. Tezuka smiled.
今のところは
For now?
武器はくれたんだ。使っても問題はねえだろうさ。だが
You've given us weapons. Won't be any problem if we use them. However, just then Tezuka's eyes grew perceptive.
何かがしっくりこない。気に入らね
Hold on a sec. Something isn't just adding up. I don't like it.
しっくりこないとは。
And what's that?
え。それが分かれば苦労はしないさ。だがおっさん、考えてみろよ。
I wouldn't be struggling if I knew what it was. But think about it, old man. Tezuka shot his perceptive gaze at Takayama.
このエクストラゲームは何のためだ？俺たちに武器を与えるためなら、ただ進路上に置けばいい。与えたくないなら何もする必要はない。
What was the purpose of this extra game? If it was to give us weapons, they could have just left them on their way forward. If they didn't want to give them to us, they didn't have to do anything.
何のためなんだ？このエクストラゲームってやつは。
So what was the purpose of this extra game?
なるほどな。
I see what you're getting at. Takayama nodded and smiled.
珍しいな。あんたが笑うなんて。
Not every day we see a smile from you.
手塚、初めてお前を仲間にしてよかったと思ったところだ。
Tezuka, this is the first time I'm glad that I've teamed up with you.
あんた、可愛くねえな。
Seriously, you don't got any charm at all. Tezuka made an exasperated face and puffed on a cigarette. Okay. Saving and checking the odds. Okay, all good. Now let's continue. They were aiming for the stairwell to the 4th floor. The group, Soichi's group, would stop and check any storehouse they came across. Of course, it was in order to find a way to remove Soichi and Yuki's collars. They're hoping perhaps they could find some tools that would make that possible, or maybe something that could forcefully remove the collar. Of course, given how practically glued to the necks the collars were, it was too dangerous to try to cut off the collars by force or something. But they would need it as a last resort if it came down to it. If they try to cut off the collars, it could result in a serious wound. But if they didn't cut them off, then they'd definitely be killed by the building's mechanism, so it didn't leave them with much choice.
これも外れだ。出てくるのはこんなものばかりだ。
This one's no good either. This is all we got. Hazuki put the things he took out of the box on the table for Rai's smile. They were automatic pistols that gleamed in the light. More pistols, huh? Sakumi's face clouded over when she saw it. This was the 5th storehouse the group had investigated. They found pistols in all of them. Hold on a second. They were in a storehouse where they'd found Japanese swords, axes, and highly powerful unsheathed blades called machetes. In their minds, they knew that pistols were more dangerous. But since anyone could tell... Hold on a second. But when they saw the blades that they could easily imagine how to use and their effectiveness, everyone couldn't help shuddering. In the current Japan, there are no shortage of bizarre murderers. It looks like the people who put us here really want us to fight each other with these. Huh. Reika, who was leaning against the wall near the door, spoke up. To fight each other, huh? Did you forget, Mitsurugi? That fat man was killed with things like these. There was an enemy out there, no mistake about it. A harsh look appeared in Reika's eyes.
それが誰でどこにいるのか皆目見当がつかないんだけど。
Though we have no idea who they are and where they are. People had died. The first one was the boy who'd broken the rules, but the second one had been definitely killed by someone. They didn't know who'd killed him or where they were. It was an undeniable fact that someone had killed him.
武装せざるを得ないのが辛いところよね。
It's harsh, but we need to arm ourselves. Fumika took the pistol on the desk in their hands and carefully investigated how to use it.
危なかったわね。もし私たちが出会う前に全員に武器が行き渡っていたりしたら。
That was close. If we'd all been armed before we came across each other, then the room echoed loudly when Fumika put the magazine back in the gun. That sound appeared louder than anything else there at the moment.
その場合は私たちが撃ち合ってたかもしれないってこと？
You mean that we might have shot each other in that case?
その可能性は高いわね。
There's a high chance of that.
考えてみてかりんちゃん。あの戦闘禁止エリアで男の死体を見つけた後に完全武装の私たちと鉢合わせていたら、あなたはどう思ったかしら？
Think about it, Karin. If you come across us, if we've been fully armed when you come across us, after we found the man's body in the non-combat area, what do you think would happen? Karin's face went pale. That's right. We were just a little lucky, that's all. That fact sent shivers down Soichi's spine. If things had turned out even slightly differently, then if they met somewhere different, then if they had more weapons, then they might have fought at that time. The reason they hadn't fired their guns when they met was because they were in a non-combat area. They'd gotten lucky by the skin of their teeth. Big bro. Yuki sounded uneasy. Soichi turned her way to find that she was tilting her tiny head, her eyebrows furrowed slightly. It's okay. I'll protect you no matter what happens. Soichi blustered as much as he could, forced a smile, and rustled Yuki's hair. Yuki's tension lightened a bit when he did that.
そうよ、ゆうきちゃん。みつるぎさんはきっとゆうきちゃんを守ってくれる。
That's right, Yuki. Mitsurugi will definitely protect you. Sakumi crouched down to Yuki's level. She then took Yuki's hand and gave her a bright smile.
だから心配しなくても大丈夫ですよ。
so you don't have to worry.
さくみお姉ちゃんは怖くないの？
You're not scared, big sis Sakumi?
怖くないと言えば嘘になりますけど。
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't, but... Sakumi furrowed her eyebrows a little. But her smile didn't fade.
でも信じていますから。
But I have faith.
お兄ちゃんを？
In Big Bro?
はい。私はみつるぎさんが全力を尽くしてくださると信じています。だから私たちも怖がっているだけじゃなく全力を尽くすべきだと思うんです。
Yes. I believe that Mitsurugi will do everything he can. So we can't just be scared. We should be doing all we can as well. Sakumi gripped Yuki's hand a bit tighter at that part. Yuki stared at Sakumi's face for a while. And gradually the fear faded from Yuki's face.
わかった。私も頑張ってみる。
Alright, got it. I'll do what I can. Yuki nodded firmly. After they ascended the stairwell to the 4th floor, Soichi's group found a non-combat area not too far from there. The situation being as it was, they didn't want to stand around for too long. Hold on a second. Alright, the situation being as it was, they didn't want to stand around for too long. From their experience up till now, the non-combat areas were full of useful goods. And so, part of the group stand on watch outside, while they decide for the rest to check inside.
それじゃおじさま、ここは私たちが見張ってるから中をよろしく。
Alright, Mr. Hosky, we'll keep watch out here, so we'll leave the inside to you.
早く帰ってきてね、みんな。
Come back soon, guys. Fumika and Nagisa stayed outside. The motion sensors haven't been, responding since we got up to the 4th floor. So I don't think there'll be anything dangerous waiting for us. Soichi said that as he turned off his PDA. The motion centers on the 4th floor only showed Soichi's group. In other words, it meant there was nothing on the 4th floor moving besides them.
だがソイチ君、振動センサーってことはじっとして隠れている相手は見つけられないわけだろう。
But Soichi, the motion centers can't find anyone who's standing still and hiding, right? Yes. Look, Soichi's group had learned that painfully well.
慎重に行けば大丈夫だって。
We'll be fine as long as we keep vigilant.
そうですよ。
She's right. Karin took a look around. She said that. Sakumi looked up at the large door to the non-combat area.
何かあったらお兄ちゃんのことは私が守ってあげるよ。
If something happens, Big Bro will keep you safe. Thanks, Yuki. Yuki's encouragement eased some of Soichi's stress. Soichi smiled as he rustled Yuki's hair.
行きましょうか。
Shall we? And with Reika's words serving as a trigger, the group walked into the non-combat area. They turned on the lights as soon as they got in, illuminating the dark room. The lights revealed a large room in front of them. There was a sofa, table, a small kitchen, and plenty of facilities for resting. Is anyone here?
おじちゃん心配しすぎだよ。
You're such a worrywart, Mr. Hazuki.
この年になると疑い深くていかんな。
Distrust comes with age, I guess. If Soichi and Hazuki took the lead, followed by Sakumi, Yuki, and Karin, who was helping Reiko stand, and they filed in one after another. Fortunately, there was no other human presences in the room, so what the group had been fearing didn't happen.
この部屋が使えないっていうのは痛いわね。
It's too bad we can't use this room, though. Reiko, the last one to enter the room, said that as she looked around.
そうだね。休むにはうってつけなのに。
That's right, even though it would be most ideal to rest in. Karin agreed with Reiko. I'll take care of this part area, Hazuki.
宗一君、どうするつもりだい？
What are you planning on doing, Soichi? I'm going to check the rooms inside. Soichi left the five of them behind and opened the nearby door deeper in. From his experience up till now, he knew there should be a bedroom and a shower room on the other side.
頼むよ。
We're counting on you.
私も行く。
I'm coming with you. Yuki followed Soichi after Hazuki spoke.
ゆきちゃん、ダメですよ。
Don't, Yuki. Sakumi chased after her. Yuki, stay with Sakumi. Stay with Sakumi with Mr. Hazuki, okay?
お兄ちゃん一人だと心配なんだもん。
I'm worried about you going on your own. Yuki ignored Soichi's warnings and went right over to him.
ゆきちゃん、向こうへ戻りましょう。
Yuki, let's go back, okay?
大丈夫だよ。どうせ誰もいないもん。
It'll be fine. No one's here anyway. Yuki then reached for the door that led further in.
あらね、誰もいないじゃない。って何これ。
See? No one's there. Wait, what's this? Yuki's eyes, widened. There was no one on the other side of the door. But there was something that defied her understanding there. It was a metal lump that reached up to her waist. It had 4 tires and several devices sticking out of its body. Are those cannons? When Yuki realized that one of the objects stacking out of the object's body was a gun, it suddenly began to move. first, a red light on the top of the object. Sorry, a part on top of the object shone red, flashed red. At the same time, something like a video camera on its side began to crane its head. It then stared right at Yuki as though it were the eyes of a living creature. Yuki! At that moment, Soichi grabbed the frozen Yuki and dragged her towards himself. At that moment, right after that, several bullets mowed down the area where Yuki had been just a second, or where Yuki's head had been just a second earlier. They fired from the muzzle Yuki had seen. The camera on the creepy machines had spun and saw its next prey. Though it was a machine, it was like a predator. Yuki, get back! We can't fight back against it. Wait, hold on. Well, it's not something we can't defeat. Soichi pushed Yuki behind him and drew his pistol from his waist. He aimed it at the metal machine, the combat robot, whose movements were slow. The camera's movements were relatively fast. But its guns and the revolution of the machine itself weren't all that fast. Hold on a second. Sorry, here we go. And the fact that it wasn't up against a human meant Soichi didn't hesitate to act.
Mitsurugi-san, ダメです。
Mitsurugi, don't! But Sakumi grabbed Soichi's arm. Thanks to that, the muzzle swayed away from the robot.
ここがどこだか忘れたんですか?
Did you forget where we are? Oh yes, of course. Soichi was dumbstruck. People who placed us here did so in order to compensate for the robot's weaknesses. Hold on a second. Alright, though they've been, recently implemented to be used in various conflicts, the robots' movements were still slow. Unless it managed to get in close range or launch a sneak attack, it was difficult for it to defeat a human. But it was a different story in a non-combat area. there, the robot didn't need to defend itself. Because the rules were protecting it. It didn't matter if the robot took its time attacking humans that couldn't do anything against it. The robot began revolving. Once it stopped, it would quickly attack the group. You have to get out of here now. If you don't get out of here before that, then... Well, they heard new gunfire coming from the non-combat area's exit, as if to block their escape. Takayama was astonished when Tezuka had given him the plan.
お前、現代の日本に生まれたのは大きな間違いだったな。
It was it's such a grave mistake that you were born in modern Japan.
どうかい？俺はそれなりに楽しんでるぜ。
Think so? I'd say I'm having a lot of fun myself. Tezuka held his arms out in front of the stunned, the exasperated Takayama. The smile on his face and the brutal nature lurking in his eyes. Followed by his composure, decision-making, and calculative nature. He's like a child of strife and danger. Takayama had lived on the battlefields for a long time, but he'd never seen a person like this before. Quite like this before.
それにこうする以外に俺たちが無傷で勝つ方法がねえだろうな。
Besides, there's no other way for us to not get hurt besides this. Yeah. Tezuka's strategy was thus. First, they would place the automatic attack combat robot they'd won from the extra game in a non-combat area. They would then hide outside the non-combat area and wait for Soichi's group to arrive. That way, not only would Soichi's group be ambushed by the robots, but Tezuka and Takayama would launch attacks from the outside to keep them from escaping the non-combat area. With this, their enemies had nowhere to run, nor did they have any ways to defend themselves. It's like their hands were literally bound.
あとはロボット君の活躍に期待しましょう。
The rest depends on what a good job our robot buddy can do. Tezuka smirked as he gave the robot's body a little kick with his tiptoes. If Tezuka and Takayama attacked block off the exit in the non-combat area, this robot would finish off Soichi's group.
だが 彼らが本当に戦闘禁止エリアに来るかどうかは分からんぞ。
But we don't know if they'll actually come to the non-combat area or not. There was no guarantee the group would go to the non-combat area on the 4th floor in the first place. And if they could detect Tezuka and Takayama's position somehow, then they might not go near it. After all, they couldn't keep using Takayama's jammer on Takayama's PDA forever.
構わないさ。それでも俺たちに損はねえし、正直もうこいつを担いで移動するのはごめん。そろそろ使い時だと思うぜ。
I don't care. Won't be any skin off our back, and honestly, I'm tired of carrying this thing around. Don't you think it's about time we used it? Tezuka kicked the robot again. The robot wasn't all that big, nor was it all that heavy. But it was quite the pain to carry around, that said.
テスコ、
あ、
Yeah?
お前、この件が片付いたら日本を出ろ。お前の居場所はこんなちっぽけな島国じゃね
Once this is all over, leave Japan. You don't belong in a meager island nation like this.
俺もそんな気がしてるところさ。
I was just thinking the same, feeling the same way. Hold on a second. Tezuka seemed amused by that prospect. In the end, everything had gone as Tezuka had planned. Tezuka and Takayama had snuck up using their jammer and attacked, leaving the two women on watch unable to move from where they were. There wasn't much they could hide behind in the middle of the hallway. Neither Fumika nor Nice had any way of dealing with the situation.
Soichi-kun, 出てきちゃダメよ。
Soichi, you have to stay in here.
こっちには敵がいるの。
There's enemies out here. Soichi's group tried to run out into the hallway, but they were stopped by those voices. They had the robot right in front of them, and an enemy behind them. With nowhere to run, they had no choice but to attack the robot. What should we do? At this rate, we'll get slaughtered. Sakumi! The robot shot at Sakumi. Fortunately, there's a thick table in front of her, so the bullets didn't reach her. Due to the robot's size, the gun it was equipped with was of relatively low caliber. And for the same reason, it couldn't fire that many shots in a row, meaning that the table was able to successfully block against it. If it had had a gun of even a slightly larger caliber, then Sakumi might have been hit at this point. Sakumi, over here! When Soichi realized the robot's gun wasn't all that powerful, he headed towards the kitchen in the corner of the room. kitchen had some incomplete walls in there, so it would block the robot's attacks for a little while. When he realized what Soichi was up to, Hazuki and the others followed suit. But because they've been so panicked, Reika, whose leg was wounded, ended up falling where she was. As a result, Karin, who'd been holding her up, also fell. The robot's camera fixed on the two of them. This is bad. Karin gets killed, and all of us will be wiped out. Soichi hastily ran over to them when he realized this. Only Karin had her collar off. She was the only one who could defeat the robot in the situation. So if Karin died, that meant everyone else in this room would die. What are you planning on doing, Mitsurugi? The robot finished revolving when Soichi got over to the two of them. It's got a name for Soichi, Reika, and Karin. They'll probably fire in just another second. Yeah! Soichi, shielded the two of his body. I won't let the two of them die. The bullets fired with a shrill sound. Ugh. One of the bullets hit Soichi's left arm. Soichi's face scrunched in agony from the impact and the intense pain. Once she saw that, Sakumi instinctively ran over to him. Mitsurugi's gonna be killed! When she thought that Sakumi recklessly charged forward with no plan in mind. She could think of nothing but Soichi at this time. If Mitsurugi dies tonight... Sakumi, no! Stay back! Soichi grabbed the wound on his arm and shook his head. Sakumi was trying to run up to him, while the robot readjusted its aim. But then you'll... Sakumi kept running. But the robot was getting ready to fire again before Sakumi could make it. Karin, get away quick! If you die, we're all dead. Got it. But then, Soichi witnessed something unexpected right after that. What? Leave Big Bro alone! He saw Yuki running straight towards the robot. Yuki, no! I'll protect you, Big Bro. Yuki and Sakumi were the same. They couldn't think of anything but Soichi at this point in time. So Yuki kicked the robot with all her might. At that moment, Tezuka, who was facing off against Fumika and Nagisa in the hallway, heard his PDA ring. His PDA had a remote control for the robot. Tezuka glanced at his PDA and clicked his tongue with annoyance. Takayama, we're retreating. What happened?
中の奴らがロボットを壊した。どうやら自己犠牲精神を発揮した奴がいたらしいな。
The robot inside has been destroyed. So we got a real martyr on our hands in there. That was the fatal oversight, and Tezuka talking out his plan. If someone in Soichi's group sacrificed himself to destroy the robot, then they couldn't wipe out the whole group. Or there's also a possibility that they could get caught up in the execution of the one whose collar activated. Wait, sorry, I misread that. So basically saying, either someone in the room had sacrificed themselves to destroy the robot, or someone's collar had activated and the robot got caught up in the execution. But judging from the state of the room that the robot was in, that you can see from his PDA, Tezuka realized it was the former. I see.
残念だが今すぐに首輪を外すってわけにはいかないらしいぜ。
Sorry, it doesn't look like we're gonna get that collar off anytime soon. Tezuka sounded, Tezuka said it was a disappointment, but he didn't look the least bit disappointed at all. After all, this means one collar is activated. Either way, it's all going according to plan.
長いは無用だぜ。
Cornered rat will bite back, huh? There's no point sticking around for long. Right. Tezuka and Takayama then retreat without another sound. You have committed a rule infraction. You'll receive your penalty in 15 seconds. An alarm and synthetic voice came from Yuki's PDA and collar. In coordination with the alarm on her collar, the LED lights started blinking. So the one Yuki committed the infraction by kicking the robots, and she attacked in a non-combat area. It's just like back then, back when that boy broke the rules. Soichi felt a chill down his spine. Big bro, are you okay? Yuki looked up to Soichi. Hold on a second. Yuki looked up to Soichi with a pale face. Her eyes glanced over at the wound on his left arm from time to time. Looks like you're okay. Thank goodness. She then smiled of relief, but Soichi couldn't be relieved in the slightest. Yuki, what have you done? Soichi frantically ran over to Yuki. But I thought that you would die if that kept up, so... And that's why you're going to die? If you die first, then what am I supposed to do? Sakumi then came over. 10 seconds until penalty. But Yuki's face froze when she heard that synthetic voice.
私から離れて二人とも私の近くにいたら巻き込まれるよ。せっかく助かったんだから離れて。
Stay away from me, guys. You'll get cut off if you're too close to me. I saved you, so don't let it go to waste. Yuki then retreated to a corner of the room. Don't give up, Yuki. There might still be a way.
ダメだよお兄ちゃん、離れて。
Big bro, no! Stay away! But despite that, Soichi approached Yuki. As Yuki was in the corner of the room, she was unable to retreat any further. So this, and all she could do was just keep shaking her head in protest.
なんということだ。
This can't be.
ユキ。
Hazuki, Karin, Reika. The three of them stood dumbfoundedly, frozen in place. They were all shocked to the core that Yuki, the youngest of them all, had sacrificed her life to save them.
くそ、私がもっとしっかりしてれば。
Damn it! If only I had my head in more. Karin in particular was wrought with despair. Karin was the only one who had her collar removed. In other words, she should have done what Yuki had done. As such, regret gnawed away at her soul. 5 seconds until penalty.
ユキちゃん、みつるぎさん。
Sakumi screamed at the continued warning. Sakumi then hastily looked around to try to find a way to save Yuki. But nothing like that was around. But Sakumi couldn't just stop there. Come with me, Yuki! Soichin picked up Yuki.
ダメだよお兄ちゃん、お兄ちゃんまで死んじゃうよ。
Big bro, don't! You'll die too! We don't know until we try. This is Yuki we're talking about here. I'm not about to give up over something like this. Soichi lifted up Yuki and embraced her with all his might. And looked around, not letting his guard down for a second. He was planning to protect Yuki from what would happen next. Back then, that boy was electrocuted to death. What's gonna happen this time? Big bro! Yuki tried to get away from Soichi, but Soichi's grip was so firm that she couldn't escape. Hold still, Yuki! Please, don't leave me and die again. Huh? Just as Yuki found herself puzzled over Soichi's choice in words, it happened. Initiating penalty. Farewell. You have served a great purpose. Yuki's body went still when she heard that voice. Soichi embraced Yuki with all his might, so he could protect her from whatever would happen next. Or... Huh? Karin's voice echoed through the silent room. The room was as silent as a tomb. It had already been a minute since the penalty announcement had been made, but there was no signs of anything happening.
何も起きませんね。
Nothing's happening, is it? Sakumi looked confused at Soichi and Yuki. Yuki opened her tightly shut eyes at Sakumi's voice.
兄ちゃん。
Big bro. What in the world is going on? Soichi and Yuki looked at each other, and then they both started looking around the room. They saw no signs of anything happening. That's strange. Back then it was a bit more. Soichi remembered when the time when the boy who had broken the rules had been electrocuted. It didn't take this long back then, did it? Soichi craned his neck as he slowly headed to the center of the room. He kept his grip firm on Yuki all this time.
Yuki! Soichi!
Karn ran over to them.
Mitsurugi-san.
Sakumi also looked over worriedly at Soichi and Yuki. Why? Why didn't anything happen? Soichi stood in the center of the room and took another look around. But apart from his companions, there was nothing else moving in the room. It was almost anticlimactic how quiet the room was.
明かりが消えましたよ。
Oh, the lights went down. Huh?
ほら、ゆきちゃんの首輪です。ピカピカしてた赤いランプが消えてしまいました。
The ones on Yuki's collar. Those flashing red lights have stopped. Sakumi pointed at Yuki's collar. The lights on there have been flashing red since a while back. But now the lights had disappeared. Almost as if nothing had ever happened. The group kept waiting as they kept a close eye on their surroundings. They waited 5, then 10 minutes. Time just passed by. What's going on? Why is nothing happening? Is there a malfunction or something? There was no one who could answer that. And no matter how much they waited, the penalty that should have arrived never came. Alright, saving and checking the bets. Okay, now let's continue. In the end, nothing had happened despite the fact that Yuki's collar had activated. Even after they'd waited and cautiously exited the non-combat area, nothing changed. There was no sign of mechanisms activating to kill Yuki, and the building was silent.
兄ちゃん。
Big bro. Yeah, it really does look like nothing's happening. Oh, thank goodness. Soichi breathed a sigh of relief, and with an exhausted look on his face, rustled Yuki's hair. It wasn't just Soichi. For the past few minutes, no one there had felt like they could move in that time.
ありがとう兄ちゃんでも私お兄ちゃんが最後まで話さないでくれたのはちょっと嬉しかった。
Thank you, big bro. Well, you know, I'm a little happy that you never let go of me even to the very end. Yuki's tension faded, and she gave a small smile. In the end, Yuki was the one who went through the scariest time there, huh? After all, it was her collar who activated. And she saw that boy die. Soichi felt like he was gonna cry when he thought that.
ゆきちゃん
Sakumi firmly embraced Yuki.
お姉ちゃん
Big sis?
よかった本当によかった剣さんも
Thank goodness. I'm so glad you're safe. You too, Mitsurugi. Sakumi continued embracing Yuki as she looked up to Soichi with swollen, tear-stricken eyes. Tears kept pouring from them one after another when she looked at Soichi head-on. Soichi unconsciously reached out for Sakumi, and she took his hand without hesitation.
私お二人が死んでしまったら私
If the two of you had died, Sakumi stifled her voice and continued crying. She was like a mother crying in relief that her daughter was safe.
大丈夫だよお姉ちゃん何も起こらなかったんだからさほら私元気だからだからお姉ちゃんもね
It's okay, big sis. Nothing happened. See? I'm okay. So you don't have to cry, okay? Though part of Yuki wanted Sakumi to stop crying and quickly cheer up, another part of her was happy to see her crying for her. So there was a indefinite look on Yuki's face.
けどどうして何も起こらないんだろう。前にルール違反した人はすぐにその仕掛けが働いたんだよね。
But why did nothing happen? The person who broke the rules before was affected by the mechanisms, right? Karin used deliberately vague expressions. Yeah. When the boy who tried to kill Soichi's collar had activated, he'd quickly been delivered his punishment. Barely any time passed in between when it activated and when those electric rods shot out at him, electrocuted and burned him to a crisp, killing him.
この辺りには仕掛けがないとか、そういうことなのかな。ソイチはどう思う？
Maybe there were no mechanisms around or something like that? What do you think, Soichi? Soichi thought as he felt Sakumi's warmth in his hand, the warmth in Sakumi's hand. But he couldn't come up with anything. Soichi's life had also been in danger, so he hadn't completely calmed down either.
それは違うと思うわ。思い出して。このフロアにも罠はあったでしょ。
I don't think that's right. There are traps on this floor, remember? It was as Fumika said. The group had seen traps after they ascended to this floor.
ここに仕掛けがないなんてことはないと思うわ。
I don't think it's possible there's no traps here, there's no mechanisms here. Yeah, it is hard to believe that they would only prepare traps and no mechanisms to punish any rule breakers. Soichi couldn't understand any of it.
するとこういうことなんじゃないだろうか。
And how about this? Hazuki, keeping silent up till now, spoke up.
ゆうきちゃんの首輪は何かの拍子に壊れていた。
Yuki's collar was broken by something. Broken?
ああ、この首輪、電子機器が詰まっているわけだろう。
Yeah. His collar is full of electronics, right? Hazuki touched his own collar as he continued explaining.
その電子機器のうち、あの映画では何と言っていたか。
Amongst those electronics is, what was the name of that movie again?
そうだ、識別信号を出す部分が壊れていたとか、そういうことなんじゃないだろうか。
Sorry, wait, I misread the last line. Amongst those electronics is, what did they call in that movie again? That's right. Hold on a second. Alright, here we go. That's right. Maybe the part that sounded the identification signal was destroyed, or something like that. Oh, that could be it. Soichi understood what Hazuki was getting at. Since the mechanisms killed, since the rule breakers were systematically killed, that meant there should be some sort of identification code in each of their collars to identify them separately. They would need some sort of system in order to make sure that they only kill the rule breakers and get, do some sort of, non-discriminatory attack. In other words, if that signal couldn't be sent out, and even if the collar were activated, it was as good as the person themselves having their collar removed. Because they could send out no signal. So Yuki's collar didn't send out an identification signal, huh?
私もおじさまの意見に賛成。そんな気がするわ。首輪は作動したけど、仕掛けを彼女にロックできなかったのね。
I agree with Mr. Hazuki. I feel the same way. Her Her collar was activated, but the mechanisms couldn't lock onto her. Fumika turned to Hazuki and nodded. Soichi felt the same.
ってことはさ、宗一の首輪も同じにできるかもしれないってことだよね。
Which means you might be able to do the same thing to Soichi's collar?
その可能性も出てくるわね。
It's a possibility. Everyone's faces lighten up a bit at that. Everyone was concerned about Soichi. But Reika alone still had a strict, severe expression. What's wrong, Reika? Reika placed a hand to her collar as she glared at the ground silently with a harsh expression. She slowly raised her head and responded to Soichi's call.
私たちは考え違いをしているのではないかと思って。
I was thinking that maybe we have the wrong idea. What do you mean?
その子は3階の戦闘禁止エリアであの中年男を殺すことができたのよ。
That girl could have killed that middle-aged man in the third floor non-combat area. What? The air froze at Reika's words. No one there had thought about that. If Yuki's collar wasn't working, then that meant that it might have been broken since a while back. Hold on a second. Okay. They didn't know when that had started. Could have been on the third floor too. In that case, it was possible Yuki had killed that middle-aged man. All she would have had to do was get rid of the weapon and hide and shake. That can't be, though.
敵なんか最初からいなかった。そんな風に考えることもできるのよ、三剣。
And there was an enemy to begin with. You should be able to consider that, Mitsurugi. There was no enemy. If Yuki had killed that man, then everything fit together. And just a short while ago, Yuki had destroyed the robot. So there was no proof that she hadn't done the same to the man. And if there really was an enemy out there, then why had Yuki not been executed? Would it have been an oversight? Or is it because there was no enemy and Yuki was the culprit? Are you serious, Reika? There's no way Yuki could kill someone.
いや、宗一君。一概にそうとも言い切れないだろう。
No, Soichi. We can't say any of that for sure. You too, Hazuki? Hazuki, agreed with Reika. His face was pale.
ここへ来てからというもの、何もかもが信じられないことばかりだよ。
It's been one unbelievable thing after the next since we got here.
何もかもが作り物めいて見えるほどに、僕は何が起こっても不思議はないと思うよ。
Everything here is so artificial that nothing surprised me anymore. That doesn't mean Yuki's...
すでに少年が一人お前を襲ってる。そう言ったのはお前なのよ、三剣。結城だけはそうではないという根拠は一体何？
A boy already attacked you. You're the one who said that, Mitsurugi. So where's your proof that Yuki didn't do the same? Well, the boy had broken the rules and died. He wasn't that much older than Yuki. Was he just an exception? Or was it Yuki? Soichi couldn't find anything to refute Reika's argument.
私誰も殺してなんかいない。
I didn't kill anyone. Yuki shouted at Reika. She then shook off Sakumi's hands and stood in front of Reika.
ひどいよそんなの。大体どうして私があのおじさんを殺すの？首輪が壊れてるならそんなことする必要ないじゃない。
I can't believe you'd say that. And besides, why would I kill that man? If my collar were broken, I wouldn't need to do that, would I?
賞金が増える、危険が減る。理由には事欠かないわ。
The reasons are endless. It could have been to increase your share of the prize money, or to decrease the danger.
やってないよ。お兄ちゃんからも言ってよ。私は誰も殺してなんかいないって。
I didn't do it. Tell her, big bro. Tell her I didn't kill anyone. Pressed for an answer, Yuki looked to Soichi for help. Yuki, over here. Soichi crouched down, said that, and then Yuki ran over to Soichi for a relieved face. Tears streamed out of her eyes and flew into the air every time she took a step.
お兄ちゃん。
Big bro. She then plunged in, she then threw herself at Soichi. Soichi caught her and... That's right. There's no reason to worry. This is all I can do. Yuki clung to Soichi and started crying and started sobbing loudly. Surprise, sorrow, and displeasure. Those emotions erupted with Yuki's sobs. As she was crying right next to his ear, those emotions passed through into Soichi as well. Don't blame any of them, Yuki. They're all just scared. Soichi embraced Yuki as he gently said that. It's hard to trust people in this situation. You know that too, don't you, Yuki? Just then, Yuki stopped crying and looked up. She sniffed as she looked at Soichi from close range.
お兄ちゃんは怖い。私が信じられない。
Are you scared too, big bro? You can't trust me? What does it look like to you? Soichi smiled at Yuki.
お兄ちゃんは私を信じてくれてる。
That you trust me. That's right. Don't forget that, Yuki. Okay. Yuki wiped her tears and desperately mustered a smile on her, dirty face. Soichi watched as he continued to embrace Yuki and stood up. Reika, Hazuki, just tell me one thing, please. He then looked to Reika and Hazuki, who were still glancing sternly at them. Are you guys scared of this girl or the game? Soichi felt like they weren't scared of Yuki herself. He believed they were merely considering all possible scenarios in this game brought about by the rules. To put it plainly, hold on a second. To put it plainly, he was venting his anger. They were venting on him. If they could pin Yuki, they just wanted to. They could put their fears to ease if they could pin Yuki as the culprit. So which is it? Soichi glared at the two of them, narrowing his eyes. Soichi wouldn't make Yuki a scapegoat for that purpose. Hazuki groaned, while Reika didn't say anything. Perhaps they were aware of what they'd done. Hazuki, I have a proposal. Yuki and I will leave here. So take care of Sakumi and Karen.
Mitsurugi-san? 何を言い出すんですか?
What are you saying, Mitsurugi? Surprised, Sakumi practically leaped to her feet. Soichi looked at her as he calmly continued speaking. It doesn't look like we'll have to remove Yuki's collar, so I'll be fine on my own. If Hazuki and the others feared Yuki, then that was the only option.
待ったソイチ、私も一緒に行くよ。今さら置いてかれて、私はどうしたらいいのさ。
Wait, Soichi, I'm going with you. If you leave me now, then what am I supposed to do? Karen ran over to Soichi, but he just shook his head. Karen, you'll be safer in numbers, you know that?
いや、こんなのと一緒に行くぐらいなら、ソイチたちと一緒の方がいい。
No. If it means going with people like this, then I'd rather be with you guys.
いつ難癖つけられるか分かったもんじゃない。ユキが殺人犯かもしれないって疑うような連中だぞ。
Who knows when they'll blame me next? These are the guys who believe Yuki might be a killer, right? Karen. Soichi couldn't refute Karen's words.
それに三剣さん、今の状況をいいことに、ゆうきちゃんを変なところに連れ込む気じゃないでしょうね。
And besides, Mitsurugi, you're not planning on taking Yuki somewhere unusual in this situation, right? Sakumi smiled as she said that.
そんな無体はお天道様が許しても、この姫萩さくみが許しませんよ。
Even if the heavens forgive you for this outrage, I, Sakumi Himehage, will never forgive you. Judging from her overdramatic tone, it seemed that Sakumi planned on going with Soichi and the others too. You too, Sakumi?
よかったね、お兄ちゃん。かりんちゃんもお姉ちゃんも私を信じてくれるって。
Isn't that great, big bro? Karin and big sis, trust me. It seemed Yuki was unbelievably happy that Sakumi and Karin were on her side. But while she sounded cheery, she was still squeezing Soichi's neck, clinging to Soichi's neck. She's probably gonna cry again. Soichi was sure his thoughts weren't wrong. Just then, a carefree laugh echoed that ignored the atmosphere around them.
おじさまとレイカちゃんの負けよ。このままだと私も渚ちゃんも坊やたちについていっちゃうわよ。
Mr. Hazuki, Reika, you've lost. At this rate, Nagisa and I are going to go with the boy and the others, you know? Fumika said that with a smile on her face. Nagisa nodded right next to her. It seemed they didn't believe Yuki was the culprit. Hazuki then heaved a deep sigh and scratched his head. He then smiled wryly.
そうだな。すまなかった、ユキちゃん。おじさんたちどうかしていたよ。
That's right. Sorry, Yuki. We weren't thinking straight.
ごめんなさい。
I'm sorry. Hazuki and Reika lowered their heads. Now that they'd calmed down, they felt genuine guilt over their actions.
私たちが揉めたら、ここを作った連中の思うつぼよ。しっかりしてよ、おじさま。一番年上なんだから。
If we get into a squabble here, we'll be playing right into the people who set this up's hands. Get a hold of yourself, Mr. Hazuki. You're the oldest one here.
面目ない。どうにも娘の顔がちらついてな。
Second. Alright, I'm back. I'm ashamed of myself. I don't know how I'm supposed to look at my daughter's face now. When pressed by Fumika, Hazuki continued to smile apologetically.
どうやら僕は自分が思っていた以上に弱くて臆病らしいね。嫌な気分をさせてすまなかったユキちゃん。それにソイチ君も。
Seems I'm weak. I'm weak in the more of a, sorry. It would seem that I'm more of a coward and weaker than I thought. Sorry if I made you feel upset. I'm sorry if I upset you. I'm sorry for upsetting you, Yuki. You too, Soichi. I see. Family, huh? Soichi glanced at Karin. He didn't remember when she declared her face when she declared that she wouldn't lose for her sister's sake. It's okay, I don't mind. It's only natural. It's only impossible to stay calm after being thrown in a place like this, nearly getting killed several times and being forced to fight. Soichi could no longer blame Hazuki and Reika at this point in time. Karen was the same. By now, she fully trusted her comrades, but once she used to be like this as well. She'd had trouble trusting him she had a lot of trouble trusting him first when she met them. Soichi was well aware of that. What do you want to do, Yuki?
ここで許さないって言ったら大貧縮だよね。
I'd be a real party pooper if I said I wouldn't forgive them, would I? Wouldn't I? It seemed Yuki was the same. Her face was cheerful. Maybe.
だからもう気にしないで、おじちゃん。レイカさんも。
So don't worry about it anymore, Mr. Hazuki. You too, Reika. Such a good girl, Yuki. Yep. And so Yuki forgave the two of them with a smile. Okay, I think I'll keep going on for a little while longer. Until I get to the next scene, probably. Tezuka heaved a huge sigh as he watched Soichi's group from a distance. Looks like some weird shit's happened.
どうだった？
How's it look?
やっぱり全員生きてやがる。
They're all alive, just as I thought.
確かか。
Are you sure?
ああ。あんたも覗いてみなよ。ピンピンしてやがるぜ。
Yeah. Why don't you take a look for yourself? They're as fit as a fiddle. Tezuka moved back to allow Takayama to look from the corner into the hallway. Once he confirmed that Soichi's group were all intact, he quickly returned.
なんかがおかしい。首輪が作動したはずなのに全員生きてるなんてな。
Something ain't right here. The collar should have activated, yet they're all alive.
あの場で首輪を外したとは考えられないか。
Is it possible one of them removed their collar there?
作動したやつをかそれはねえよ。首輪が外れてるのはあの髪の短い娘だけで。残りはまだ全員している。
What, you mean the one whose collar activated? No, that's not it. The only ones who removed their collar is that short-haired girl. Everyone else still has theirs.
あの娘は前から外れてたから、あの場では誰も外しちゃいない。
And that girl removed hers a while back. So no one could remove theirs in there.
ということは、作動したのに生きている奴がいるってことか。
Which means someone's alive even though the collar activated. Takayama leaned against the wall and crossed his arms in contemplation. Tezuka was just as dumbfounded as Takayama. But his emotions were more blunt than Takayama's.
気に入らねえ。何もかもだ。
I don't like this. I don't like any of this. Tezuka frowned with distaste and punched the wall in front of him. A heavy sound echoed through the made a small echo through the hallway.
PDA のソフトの機能か事故か、それとも特別な意味があるのか。
So your PDA software did an accident. Maybe there's some special significance to it.
くそ、このままじゃ手の出しようがねえ。
Damn it. You can't do anything to them like this. Tezuka felt irritation from time to time, at the affairs of the at being in the hands of the people who put them in this game in the first place. If the events now had been a part of all of that, it wouldn't be surprising if there's some big problem behind it all.
少し様子を見るしかないな。
You have no choice but to keep an eye on them.
マジか。一番俺の苦手なやつね。
So we gotta wait, huh? There's nothing more I hate than that.
お前が嫌いなのは誰かに踊らされていることだろう。誰かを踊らせている時のお前は待つことを苦にしないさ。
It's being at others' mercy that you really hate, isn't it? Hold on a second. Sorry, it's being toyed with by others that you truly hate, isn't it? When others are toying with you, you hate waiting. Takayama said that with a calm voice. Tezuka's eyes widened then.
驚いた。その通りだよ、高山の大将。
Surprised. You got hit the nail on the head, boss man.
なんとなくお前というやつの考え方が分かってきた。
I've just sort of picked up on the way you think.
了解だ大将。少し様子を見よう。
Roger that, boss man. We'll watch him for a while. Tezuka then fell back, his lips curling into a amused smile.
それにしてもあんたといると退屈しなくていいぜ。
I gotta say though, it's never a dull moment with you around.
そうか。俺は気が休まらなくて困る。
Is that so? It's a problem for me when I can't be at ease. Takayama was the same as always.
少しは信用しろっての。
Have a little faith, will you?
してるさ。その計算高さをな。
Oh, I do. In your calculative nature, that is.
それは信用してねってことだろうな。
It's the same as saying you don't trust me, isn't it? Tezuka then purposely shrugged his shoulders.
でも宗一君、ゆうきちゃんが犯人という説は間違いにしても、ゆうきちゃんの首輪のことは少し考えておいた方がいいわね。
Okay, I think this is probably a good stopping point actually, so I'm just going to stop here. So yeah, crazy stuff happening, more unexplained mysteries. Just gonna have to see how it develops now that there's doubt in the group. Although it seems to have been conquered for the time being. And there's still what Tezuka and Takayama are up to. So we'll have to see how they deal with that next time, so until then, I'll see you later.